Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to week number 7. This is a big week for us because you have your final project due. So let's see what we've got going on. Before we get started, my little granddaughter was here over the weekend and she pulled out my giant microbes, and I know you want to see them. Isn't he cute? He's Ebola, the Ebola virus. What about this one? So doggone cute. Look at all those little round cells. What is this? MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Little bugger would just get you in so much trouble. Who is this? Look how cute. Who is this? Okay, it says cough, but what is it? Oh, yeah, I can't get it fixed. Whooping cough. This is the bacterium that causes whooping cough. And save the cutest for last because look. Doesn't it look like a little cow? Oh, yes. Why? Because it's the mad cow disease prion. But he is so cute. So anyway, being a microbiologist, I love crazy stuff like that. They're called giant microbes. Yes, you can buy them. Look online. So what did we look at last week? We went through sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction in bacteria. Bacteria just split in half. That's called binary fission. Most of the organisms on the planet do something called sexual reproduction, where they mix up their genes. And the importance of this is that organisms produce lots of different offspring. And the hope is that some of those offspring will be able to survive no matter what comes along in the environment, with the weather, disease-wise, whatever. And so this helps with biodiversity. And of course, that's tremendously important. We learned some about heredity. You did it in your lab too, if you're taking a lab, some Mendelian genetics and dominant recessive traits and that sort of thing. That's all very interesting. I love that. But this week we're getting into some ecology and ecosystems. So what the heck is ecology anyway? It's the study of all the organisms that live together in a particular environment. And you have to consider every single organism, all the way from the lowest single-celled bacterium to the highest apex predator that lives in this environment, along with the abiotic features of the environment, including the water and the soil and the hiding places and caves and holes and whatever is there, including the weather. So that's ecology, where you study all the organisms and their environment all together and how they interact with each other. Ecosystem is this environment plus the organisms that are there. And they're all different types of ecosystems, including aquatic, so like the ocean. So they're all different types of ecosystems. So this week you're studying about ecology and ecosystems, just a little teeny bit because you get that huge project due. Read the Module 7 overview and watch the video. The video is about Lake Erie, and Lake Erie has come a long way, as all the Great Lakes have, since the 1960s and 1970s. I have to say that because there was a tremendous amount of industrial pollution in those lakes during that time. And the EPA was established during that time, and water was cleaned up. Now we're still having a problem with wastewater being dumped into the ocean and lakes and ponds and everywhere. So you will see that in the video that you watched about Lake Erie. I'm also going to include one on the red tides, which is an algal bloom that happens. This one has happened off the coast of Florida. We have them along the coast of South Carolina and North Carolina also, especially North Carolina, because of all the hog farms that we have along the coast. And if there's flooding, if there's heavy rain, if there are hurricanes, tornadoes, the waste from those hog farms gets dumped into the ocean, and then we have red tides. You have discussion board postings this week, which are optional, but they are really interesting, and they have to do with that Lake Erie video. So I encourage you to do your discussion board postings so that we can have a discussion about ecosystems and ecology. And excuse me, I've got the hiccups, that Lake Erie pollution problem. So post in the discussion board if you would like. It is optional because you do have a lot of work going on this week. All right, I do want to talk about the final project. And I want to emphasize to you how important this is. It is 260 points out of your total 1,000 points for this term. So it is a big deal, and you need to get it done. That's why you don't have anything else that is due this week. Everything will be turned into slides. This is a presentation. Pretend like, because we're not doing this, but pretend like you're going to stand up in front of a whole group of your peers and instructors, and you are going to make this presentation about your topic. So you've got to have slides that are readable, slides that are understandable with graphics, etc. Okay, so think about it that way. So you're going to make slides. Use PowerPoint. Use something like PowerPoint. Google Slides will also work, and I don't even know what else, but make slides. There's a section down at the bottom where you can put speaker's notes. So this would help you describe or tell your audience about this particular slide. You should not put every single word that you would say on the slide for me to read. Okay, that's not the way a presentation works. So put the main bullet points, put a graphic, whatever, and then at the bottom put your speaker's notes that will describe what that slide is all about. Include all 3 of the milestones. So you have this project basically graded, even though some of it may not be fleshed out completely, because the first 2 were outlines, remember. Look at those milestones. Look at your graded rubrics. I have graded all this. I have made suggestions. I have told you what you need to improve on in order to get this right. So look at those graded rubrics, make the corrections, include all 3 of the milestones that you've already produced. So all you're doing right now is putting this all together. Include imagery, include graphics, include pictures of where you're talking about. Okay, this is really important because nobody wants to see just a bunch of words up on a slide. You've been in those presentations before, and you just go, what, really? Give me something to look at, you know? All right, as I'm reading your speaker's notes to get an idea of the topic and what the section is. Include data, especially if you are doing global warming and climate change, you have data out there. Look at NOAA, NOAA. You will find data on global warming and climate change. So use data if you have it, if you can find it. This is very important to help the listener believe in what you're saying, because there is data to back up what you're talking about. Okay, so use data if you possibly can. Last of all, the format. Label, label, label. Wait a minute, can I say that again? Label. Every section. 1, introduction. I should not have to guess what your slide is about. Is it about education? Is it about the methods? Is it about solutions? Label everything so that I don't have to guess, because if I have to guess, I may guess it wrong. I may think, ooh, this is the methods section, when it's really the solution section. And if I don't find the solution section, then that's going to be a 0 there. So label everything. I just cannot emphasize that enough, because that's the way that I'm grading this. Look at the rubric. Every section has a point value. And if I can't find that section, then that's a 0. I'm just saying that's the way that it works. So label everything. Plus, it all makes sense if you label. It's in outline form, the whole presentation is. And so it's going to make sense if you follow the presentation outline. And as always, if you need any help this week, if you need any suggestions, if you have any questions, please email me, m.sigmund@snhu.edu, and I will be looking for those, and I will answer them as quickly as I can. I hope that you have a wonderful week this week. I know there's all kinds of crazy weather going on right now all over the country. We don't have snow here, but it is horribly wet and rainy for days on end now. But stay safe where you are, stay safe from COVID, and have a wonderful week.